All right. Today we're going to divide unit fractions by whole numbers. Okay? So we're going to use some modeling. So here in example 1, which is in your book. So you guys should all be following along. On page 771. Thank you, Mr. Parker. It says Elijah is shorting his music in a playlist. What half of his music is rock? Okay. It says he wants to make 3 separate rock playlists. If each playlist is the same size, what fraction of Elijah's music will be on one of the rock playlists? So we're going to find 1/2 divided by 3. Okay? So 1/2 divided by 3. So we're going to use our model that they provided for us. So this model represents what number?
3.
No.
What happened?
This is 1/2. So the model represents 1 whole. So it represents his whole playlist. Okay? Now, how many playlists is he going to make out of his rock music?
3.
3. So now we have 3 sections of rock, correct? Now, in order to find out how much it is of the entire music collection, we have to separate the other half into thirds as well. So now, how many total pieces do I have?
6.
So I have 6 total. Yes, sir.
Why can't we just put 3 and 3? Like yesterday's homework. Can you calm down?
Now, how many of the rock playlists do they want to know make up the part of the whole? How many of the rock playlists do we actually care about right now?
3. Oh, yeah, 3.
How many of the rock playlists
1.
do we care about?
1.
1. So the reason why we didn't write 3 right now is because we're going to represent this by shading in 1.
Okay.
Yesterday we did not have to show how many pieces we were having. Okay, we were just separating it into pieces. So today we have to show how many of the pieces we care about. So now we come down here and we divided each section into 3 equal parts. Okay. So how many equal sections are there now? 6. And it says how many parts represent one of the rock playlists? 1 part represents 1 rock playlist. Yes, Mr. Williamson?
I'm confused.
How?
Because you said 3 and then there's, on that side it says 1/3. Because that's 1 shaded in.
Oh, I think I know what we're doing.
On what side it says 1/3? Where?
Well, look, you said there was 3 right there, right? And you said there was 3 on both sides and then that one's shaded in.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. Okay, right here, you're saying you're confused about why I shaded this one in.
Yes.
Okay, so rock made up half of his music collection. So this represents how much rock is on his. The 1/2 represents how much rock is on his. Let's say his iPod, all right, or his iPhone, his iProducts. Half of his music is rock. So he made 3 rock playlists out of this. So here's 1 rock playlist. This is 2. This is 3. So there's all 3 rock playlists. Okay? That's why I had to divide that half into 3. Now, in order to make it to where I could see how much this one playlist is represented on the total, I had to separate the other side into thirds as well, which gave me 6 total pieces. Okay? For the entire. This represents 1 whole. I now have 6 pieces out of my whole, and 1 of those pieces is what we care about for the rock playlist. So each one of the rock playlists represents 1/6 of his total music collection. Does that explain it a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we get to write 1/6 a bunch of times and then talk about what we're going to do here. Okay? So 1 rock playlist section. That's 1. And the total number of sections was how many? 6. So now we're going to check. Okay? Well, after 1/2 divided by 3 equals 1/6. And then over here we check it. We have 1/6 times 3 equals 1/6 times 3 over 1, which equals 3/6 or 1/2. So we're good. Okay? Now, they want you to model it. We're going to take it a step further today. Okay? We are also going to show how you're going to, and all of your parents are going to be like, oh yeah, okay, I know how to do this part of it. The modeling is going to be something that's probably new to most of them. All right? But this will be good. So we're going to go 1/2 divided by 3 equals. We have a whole number, correct? Our whole number needs to be changed into a fraction. How do we change a whole number into a fraction?
Adding a 1 and 2.
We put it over 1. Okay? Now, we keep our first fraction, right? So it stays 1/2. What do we do with our other fraction? We flip it. We use the inverse. Okay? Which the inverse of 3 over 1 is 1/3. What do we do with the division sign?
Make it multiplication.
Make it multiplication. And I'm sorry, my division sign is pretty sloppy, but that's, oh well. Now we multiply it. 1 times 1 is?
1, 6.
2 times 3 is?
6.
There's your answer.
Oh, wow.
I want this shown on your homework along with the modeling that they want you to do. Do you understand?
Yep.
Okay? That's how I'm going to know you showed your work. Our next example. It says in the buffet line, there was only 1/4 of a pan of spaghetti left. So over here we have our model. Look at, the model represents the entire pan of spaghetti. So it represents 1. They've already separated it into 4s. This is what's left. That's how much spaghetti is left. Okay? It says 3 friends decide to divide the spaghetti evenly. How many friends?
3.
3 friends. 1/4 of a pan. What fraction of a whole pan of spaghetti did each friend receive? Find the unknown in 1/4 divided by 3. So what we do is we take our 1/4, and how many pieces do we have to break it into?
3.
3 pieces. Like so. How many of the friends do we actually care about?
3.
How many of the friends do we actually care about?
1. 2.
We want to know what each friend got. So each friend represents how many of those 3?
3.
If I said each friend, how much does each friend represent out of the 3 pieces I broke our quarter into? 1. So we're only looking at 1, right? Now, if I broke the quarter into thirds, what do I have to do with the other 3 quarters? Okay, so we break them into thirds. Now, how many total pieces do I have?
12.
How many pieces are shaded?
1.
Okay, so we divided each into 3. There are now 12 total sections, okay? Now, we have how many sections? 1. How many total sections? 12. So 1/4 divided by 3 equals 1/12. So S, our unknown, is 1/12. Okay? And then each friend receives 1/12. Look at, they're just having us practice writing 1/12, I guess. Okay? Now, I told you, after you're done with this, you're going to show me how you actually would do the problem when you're not modeling it. So you're going to go 1/4 divided by 3 equals. What do I have to do with my 3 since I'm working with fractions? Cedarquist, what do I do with my 3 since I'm working with fractions? Put it over 1. Okay? Our first fraction, what do we do with it? What do we do with our first fraction?
Keep it.
We keep it. What do we do with our second fraction?
Flip it.
What's it called when we flip it?
1/3.
It's the inverse. It's the opposite. Okay? What do I do with the division problem? To what?
Multiplication.
Thank you. 1 times 1 is?
1.
4 times 3 is?
12.
So our answer is 1/12. So, with your homework tonight, you're going to do, they have a check, you'll see right now, alright? Boom. You're going to do the modeling, which is right here. You're going to do the check that they're going to give you. Then below that, on your homework, you are going to work it out without the modeling. 1/3 divided by 3 equals. Okay? So we're going to do the modeling first. It says find the quotient of 1/3 divided by 3, use the model. Check using multiplication. So how many pieces do I have to separate the 1/3 into? 3 pieces. If I separate the 1/3 into 3 pieces, what do I have to do to the other 2/3?
Make it 3.
I have to separate each one of the pieces into 3. How many total pieces do I have? I have 9 total pieces. How many pieces do I care about? 1. So my answer is 1/9. Okay? So now we're going to go backwards when we check for multiplication. 1/9 times 3 equals, so that's 3 needs to be put, we're working with fractions, so what do we do with 3? Put it over 1. So 1 times 3 is?
3.
9 times 1 is? 9. So I have 3/9, or 1/3. Well, I need to make sure that they reduced right, that my answer makes sense, okay? So how do I go from a 3 to a 1?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. So if I divide the top by 3, I have to do what to the bottom?
Divide by 3.
Is 9 divided by 3, 3?
Yes.
So are my answers correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is the part that is not in your workbook, but you're going to do it anyways, because this is how I'm asking you to show your work. And if you don't show your work, is your work done?
No.
So when you bring your homework in tomorrow, if this isn't on it, is your homework complete?
No.
Okay. So underneath you're gonna write the problem out again. 1/3 divided by 3 equals. So what do I have to do with the 3 since we're working with fractions?
Put it over 1.
You're awesome. Good job, Lucas. Now that I put the 3 over 1, let's talk about what I do with it. My first fraction. What do I do with my first fraction?
Keep it the same.
Keep it the same. What do I do with my second fraction?
Flip it.
Flip it. What's it called when I flip it?
Inverse.
Inverse. What do I do with my division problem?
Turn it into a multiplication problem.
Then I solve it, right? 1 times 1 is?
1.
3 times 3 is?
9.
There's my answer. I'm not asking you to do a whole lot as far as what we're adding to it, but I am asking you to do it. Okay? Now, before I let you off on your own and let you spread your wings and fly, Mr. Cedarquist, you get to pick the next problem that I'm going to do with you. Seven? Okay. Number 7. Oh. Thanks, Cooper. All right. Number 7 looks complicated, but it's really not. Okay. I have 1/9 divided by 2. So how many pieces do I need to divide my 1/9 into? How many pieces do I need to break the 1/9 that they're giving? They gave me 1/9 right here, right?
2.
So how many pieces does this have to be broken into?
2.
2. If I break that into 2 pieces, what do I have to do with the other 8/9? What do I have to do with the other 8/9?
Divided by 2.
I have to break them into 2, 2. Yeah. Get it? 2, 2? All right. So each one of my 1/9 needs to be broken into 2 pieces. Okay? Now, how many pieces do I have?
18.
I have 18 pieces. I only care about one of them, so it's 1/18. Okay? Now, I'm going to do the check. So now I have 1/18 times 2. Now I'm dealing with fractions, so what has to happen to my 2?
Over 1.
Over 1. So 1 times 2 is?
No.
18 times 1 is?
18.
Okay, I have to go from a 2 to a 1, so what do I divide it by?
2.
2. That is 1. If I divide 18 by 2, is that 9?
Yeah.
Okay, so my answer is correct. Now, underneath it.
Oh,
What do I need to do with my 2 since I'm working with fractions?
no. Put it over 1.
Put it over 1. What do I do with my first fraction?
You keep it the same.
Keep it the same. What do I do with my second fraction?
You flip it.
Which is the?
Inverse. Inverse.
What do I do with my division sign?
Make it in multiplication.
1 times 1 is?
1.
9 times 2 is?
18.
There's my answer. Okay. I will leave this one up here for you guys to look at. You may now work on your stuff.